Collective Creative Initiative Drink the Ink, Bailey Harris Kelly is on, everyone, providing equal opportunity despite economic circumstance. The time is just double checking in the corner there. The days and the weeks are all merging in. Oh my goodness, how many months has it been? I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The sensational Layton Williams is joining us now for the next hour. But before we do kick that off, know that we still have that amazing 12 months free access offer with Backstage still running. And if you want to ask a question during the session, all you have to do is subscribe. Subscribe for access to Backstage and subscribe to ask questions with our practitioners. Now it is Layton Williams. And yes, get your questions in quickly. Oh my goodness, I can't reiterate it. We have listeners coming from Canada to Ireland to Australia over the airwaves. There might be a delay, so get those questions in fast. You've heard enough from me throughout the weeks, throughout the months. Let's jump into the thick of it. Layton, a very good morning to you.
Morning, how's it going?
Very, very good. Thank you. Welcome to CCI. Just seeing how you're doing at the moment before we deep dive into the career, the who's and the whys. Getting to a sense of normality, if that's what we can call it. How's hair been? How's the West End driving been? Like how are you?
Do you know what? It's actually been really fab. The last couple of weeks, I've been getting back to what I do. You know, actually performing, getting on stage, entertaining. It's my first time on stage, like I think a couple of weeks ago. And then I went straight into rehearsals for a show, which felt weird. It was very quick. It was just a concert, so we only did like 3 or 4 performances. But it was just nice. It felt normal again. I had a matinee, I had an evening show. I was like, oh my goodness. And then just like that, within 2 weeks, it was kind of like over. So like, it was fab, but I'm like, oh, it's kind of like dangling a carrot. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess the whole of lockdown for me, honestly, has actually been really, really busy because you go from, you know, working with a company who tells you to turn up to the theatre this time, do this, do that, you go, you do your job and whatever, you know, I do my other little hustles on the side, but this has been like, you know, prime time hustle all day, every day, running this, running that, trying to make all ends meet. So actually not stopped really. So it's been busy. Yeah. But I can't complain. Happy to be booked.
Yeah, no, it's like for you, there must be that expectation though of always delivering. So what do you do just to help yourself during these times? It's busy and uncertain enough as it is, but when you're just thrown in and being like, right, we're going to get Layton in, what do you do just to breathe with it and go, okay?
Well, it's hard, I guess, because you do have that in the back of your mind, like, don't mess this up. Do you know what I mean? Because people are expecting you. If you talk the talk and walk the walk, telling everyone that you came to slay, then you need to slay. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know whether I subconsciously do that to make sure that I just do stay on top form. But you know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist anyway. So if I do something, I'm going to do it with a bang. You know, for example, when my friend Sinead asked me to come and do West End Drive-In and headline, sat on this very couch right here, I was like, I'm not going to headline. I was like, I think, you know, Kerry Ellis can headline, but I don't know whether I'm, you know, big enough to be able to do that and sell that many tickets. Lo and behold, I decided to say yes. And not only did we sell out, we doubly sold out. We had to add more seats. I was like, well, if we're doing this, I'm not just walking up in a suit and singing a song. I want 5 costume changes. I want dancers. I want to do a once in a never done before moment and 2 James on stage at the same time, like putting on a whole show. It's all or nothing, and that's the kind of guy that I am. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to run with it, you know. So yeah, it's been fab.
And talking about, I came to slay, seeing the jumper there, the workshops, pros from the shows, like building that first workshop coming on the 19th of September. What has it been like? Putting your energy towards that during these times and giving back almost.
Do you know what? It's been a really good time to talk about, because literally the past few days have been really, really stressful because we put our thing out there and, you know, usually, you know, it's just strange times. You never know. Like usually like bang, everyone's on it. You know, before we've even promoted it, the people that have like our information on our newsletter, they see that another event from us have gone live and they're on it. And it was a bit slow at first. I thought, you know, I'll give them a few days. I'll start doing some promo. I'll get on them local radio stations, darling. Like it's fine. But then the new COVID rules came into play, and it's a little bit scaremongering. I think like people are genuinely scared. Parents are scared to send their kids out of their comfort zone, out of their own schools, out of their dance schools and their social bubbles and stuff. So we just announced today, we've taken the hosting of the workshops back, and I'm going old school, just like I used to do back in the day. I'm getting in the car with my gorgeous boyfriend. He's going to be my designated driver / assistant, and we're going to travel up and down the UK to whoever will have us. So I literally announced that officially today, and I've already got like 5 or 6 schools set up for like each day. We're doing like Manchester, we're going through the Northeast, then we'll go to Midlands. So basically, if they want me, they'll have me the whole of October. I'm on the road. So I always have to think on my feet because I don't like to kind of admit defeat. So when that happened and I thought, well, this isn't going to sell, I was like, how can we reimagine this? And I'm coming to them now. So it's exciting.
It's amazing. And thinking about like what you just said, and then calling on friends and building relationships, like collaborating with individuals in this industry. For you, you've worked with particular individuals more than once. For example, Matthew Bourne with productions. For you, with the type of people that you work with, what excites you about those new collaborators that are coming on stage with you, and you're just making those sparks? What type of people do you want on stage with you?
Well, I guess I feel like I always am inspired, and like I grow every time I work with new people, especially when I did West End Brunch, the Jamie that works in the West End, Noah Thomas, I'd never worked with him, we'd never performed together. So it was kind of me in my place. It was my solo show, really. I didn't need to invite anybody to sing with me because, somebody could have taken my limelight, but it wasn't about that. It was about sharing in a moment, celebrating a moment, and going, Noah's a rising star. He's, it's his first job and first of many, join me. Let's celebrate together. All things Jamie, all things love, all things equality, and just show everybody that, if we work together, we can make things pop. So I've always been a collaborator, and through my company, I hire friends, I hire my mom, my nan, my boyfriend, whoever I can, just to help them. Everyone needs a little bit of help getting on their feet at this time. So I try to make it a team effort,
I'm thinking about rising stars, when going all the way back to when you were 12, Billy. For you, where did you look to have that helping hand, and to really have your energy put in the right place so you were able to go up the ladder?
Honestly, back then it was just a little bit crazy. Like I was just bam. I was a little bit like, deer in headlights, I would say. Obviously, we had people looking after us and chaperones and, people to look after our well-being, but we were all on such a journey. It just didn't, I was a kid, I didn't think like that. Do you know what I mean? I just got up, did the job, had fun, had a lull, and that was it. It's only as recent, well, not recent, but, being an adult, having bills to pay, having responsibilities, having people that, you need to pay. That's what makes you kind of then get your stuff together. Do you know what I mean? But back in the day, I was young and free and just a little bit careless at times because we're allowed to be as kids.
Did you always stick on that path then of having that sense of freedom, being fearless, or did something get in the way that kind of just made you go, okay, right, I feel a bit uncomfortable here. This is a reality. Did you face certain challenges that really made you tackle self-worth?
I guess I did have to grow up quite quick. So, there became a point in my life where I was like, okay, like I need to get my stuff together. I need to get organized. I need to get back to London. I need to, I need to make things work. This is, I knew that I basically had to take this industry a bit more seriously. And then it was fun. And then it became, work. I was really working towards a career. I was basically working towards what I'm doing now. And in my head, I saw myself back on stage, playing leading roles, doing this, doing that, filming this, filming that. So I guess everything that I believed has kind of like happened as such. So I do feel very happy and fortunate when I look back on my career and be like, oh, every time I speak about it, in the Q&A and stuff, I'm just like, oh, like it's actually been a fab life,
And would you say in that same vein that you're a creative that's very much rooted in that present, or are you looking to the future? Like, what's your process in always just having that momentum going and thriving?
Yeah, I'm always going forward. There's no point in looking backwards too much. So I'm always, you know, go, go, go. I'm never, you know, sitting down. I'd say I had 2 weeks off fully during lockdown, like actually doing nothing. The rest of the time I was really, you know, busting it out, you know, making things roll. And it's not for any particular reason other than I just like to keep busy. Like I don't like sitting about doing nothing. I want to be inspired. So, and with me getting up and doing something, hopefully that inspires others, you know, whether I'm teaching them or I'm performing for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, but like busting it out, making a mark, got to turn up London as well. I think like during this.
Oh, that was so bad.
Really amazing. Like for you, what was that whole experience? Because like Ryan and Nicole and everybody, you all had just such a small time frame to be able to deliver something that had maximum impacts on audiences.
I've got to be completely honest. I didn't think about it much as any different to everything else that I was doing. Like I said, I was really busy during lockdown. So, you know, another video request comes through. They want you to sing a song, another charity moment, which is great and it's fine. And, you know, I've been doing my charity bits, darlings, you know, queen of the charity video gigs, you would call me during lockdown. I probably recorded about 50 videos. And by the end of lockdown, my voice was so shot. I just said to my publicist or my agent, I was like, just send them one I've already done because who knows? It's a different audience. Send them that one of Ren. I had like 10 videos circulating that I just keep repeating for different companies because it's like, I've already sung it. So might as well just use the same one. I'd be very generic at first. I'd be like, hello, I'm Layton. Here's my song. Wouldn't even say who it was for. So when these guys approached me, I've got to be honest, I was like, sounds cute, sounds great. Like I didn't really know the extremity as to what it is because listen, everyone's their own biggest fan in this industry. I should hope you need to back yourself. So when they're coming and being like, this is going to be this is going to be that, I'm always like, is it? Cool. Because a lot of the time, sometimes it's not. So you're just like, sounds cute, but we'll see. And obviously when I was doing my bit, I sang my little ditty. And if I'm going to be honest, it was stressful. I had a busy morning. It was like Sunday. The deadline was Saturday. I've been teaching all week. My voice was shot. I couldn't get like my Bluetooth and my Wi-Fi and things working. So my headphones weren't playing my music and I couldn't do the song. So I couldn't, it was just like, had to go and buy headphones, a new pair of headphones for this specific gig. They didn't work. I had to basically call my brother to come all the way to the studio to play the song from his video into the Wi-Fi speakers. I sang it whilst he was watching me, laughing at me the whole time. And I actually posted loads of bloopers on Twitter the other day because it was just a lol. Like I was like, oh, for God's sake, go back one time. Go back one time. I literally busted it out. And then they cut everything together and that's what makes it cute. But really my part of the gig was slapdash. And I'm not even going to pretend it was something other. My part of the gig was questionable, but it turned out fab. So it's all in the end product, you know?
And there was the result, yeah.
And then I realized what a moment I was a part of. I was like, oh, when I actually sat down and watched it, I was like, oh my God. Oh, Rachel. Oh, Marcus. Like, I didn't even know who I was singing with. Rachel Adedeji and Marcus Collins and me, we sounded fire together. You know what I mean? When you mold two voices together, I was just going, ain't no mountain high enough, all by myself. Next thing, bam, it's like a full production. I was like, wow, we sound good, guys. So it was really nice. It was a great surprise. And it was really inspiring because, you know, seeing a whole cast of Black talent and, you know, we can't find the talent. How many times have I heard that? And it's like, well, that's the receipts for y'all. The talent is there. It's thriving. And it was an honor to kind of be the finale of that whole production. So, yeah, I was buzzing to be a part of it finally and to see the final edit.
Yeah, it's been lovely. With regards to inspirations, where do your inspirations lie? When you find perhaps a moment of difficulty, or you just want to revisit something that puts a smile on your face, what really gets you going?
Ooh. I don't necessarily have things that I watch in my mind. I'm always jumping on to the next thing. During lockdown, so staged, me and my boyfriend watched Smash again, repeated that. That was an absolute throwback. And I'm not even sorry. Literally, like the day that we finished the season 2, they announced that it was coming to Broadway. I was like, that's meant to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll be over to Broadway. But inspiration wise, really, if I say the people that inspired me, it just has to be my friends, because, you know, we can talk about celebrities and, you know, stars and whatever who I don't really know. The worry is, like, if you idolize someone so much, then if you meet them in person, you never know, they couldn't be nice. So I tend to, you know, look up to my friends, be inspired by my friends, because they're all out there doing bits. You know, we're all supporting each other every step of the way, and we are the future as well. Like, we're not even the future, we're the now. Like, the more I look around my social friendship groups and, you know, the spider web of, you know, friends that I've met across the years, we're doing it now. Like, we are the peeps. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day when you were at school and you used to look up to, like, all the people that were in the shows, and, oh, she's in that show, he's in that show, but we're them now. And it's like, guys, we're doing that. Do you know what I mean? We're making moves. So I'm just inspired by, you know, all the people that I've met along the way, and my closest friends, really.
What can those aspiring tuning in right now do to help themselves, you know, try and get to the stage, not mimic, copy, do a carbon copy of your career, but try and do something in where their voices can be heard, especially now, because it is getting a bit saturated now, because drama schools are on hold, the graduates are on hold, and it's all going to be merging.
It's such a hard time to try and stay focused and inspired and, you know, think to the future, but, like, this too shall pass. Like, we are going to get over this. Do you know what I mean? We will get through it. Like, we've got to stay positive in ourselves to know that, like, you know, in 10 years time, we'll look back and be like, oh my God, how crazy was that? But there's going to be a whole new bunch of new, you know, stars, and, you know, you know, the younger generation, you know, when we had a bit of, like, I wouldn't say backlash, I don't even like to raise it up like that, but, you know, when we all got cast in the Hair production, there's a few people getting a bit bitter, you know, being like, oh, I'm sick of seeing the same faces on the posters and stuff. And I was just like, okay, don't know what you kind of mean by that, because I've literally not booked a job in 2 years because I've been playing Jamie for 2 years, but it's fine. You can see my face all over. I'm so sorry, darling, but she's been on the tube. She's been on the, you know what I mean? The poster's been all over. You can't miss me. And I creep up just about everywhere. Netflix, I'll creep up on you. I'll creep up on the underground. I'll creep up on your TV. I'm there. But basically, I don't know. I'm just, when the Hair cast got announced, it's like, we won't be the same people in 10 years being cast in something like that. It will be a whole fresh bunch of kids. It'll be you guys watching now. Do you know what I mean? It'll be you guys that were at college, at school, thinking, oh my God, like, one day, like, it will be you. I remember walking to, like, commuting with my good friend, Kida William Sterling, who is the actor in Sex Education. He plays the swimmer. The guy, I don't know if you watch it, and if you do, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no.
I forgot his character name, but we've been best friends since I was like 14. We went to Tally Conti together, and we used to walk to school and be like, oh, like, I want to do this. Is like, well, I want to be in movies, and I want to kind of write this, and I'd be like, oh, well, I just, you know, want to be in the West End, but I still want to do this. And we would literally, like, plan our futures out and, like, dream of, like, our ideal lives. And I remember catching a train from King's Cross. This was like last year, and up the escalator, my face was literally everywhere. I got off at King's Cross, and there was this massive poster of Kida for the Sex Education, you know, of all the different casts, and I was just like, oh my God, like, we've kind of done it. Like, we're it. Like, everything that we put into the universe and we dreamt of is kind of just happening, and he's writing now and directing now, and I'm doing different bits now, and it's just really, it's really wild when it kind of comes full circle and you finally are them people. So, you know, if you work hard, stay true to yourself, really, really work on your craft, and just, you know, keep at it. Who knows? If it can happen to me and Kida, it can happen to you guys too.
Exactly. Having a sense of fulfillment, and they're going, like, always, constantly, what's next? Like, how do you look after just like preserve self and everything that you've done? Is it something that, like, I need to, because you've obviously been the face, you have been all over the underground and saying you're creeping on the televisions, and, you know, we've seen you on screens, we've seen you on stage, but do you feel like, because you have done it, there's an expectation of, of topping it, or is it just going, look, I'm going to do my own thing now, and
it is quite hard, and it is a little bit scary because people are going to expect, what's the next thing he's going to do, but I just don't like to take that pressure off, really. And actually, I'm a human being and a person. I'm a son first. I'm a brother first. I'm a boyfriend first. I'm, Layton before I'm the actor Layton. So that, it's important to really, if you love your career and you ride or die, which mine kind of is. But I do take a step back sometimes, and I'm like, deuces, I need to go and sit on a beach for a couple of weeks. I need to just turn off my phone and delete Instagram and not be caring about what people think about me. What you guys think is none of my business, period. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not my business what you think about me, what you believe I should be doing next, what you think I should or shouldn't be doing, what roles you wish I should be doing. Like, it's fab that you're interested, honeys, and I'm glad you are. But really, when you deep it's none of my business. Really, I just need to concentrate on what makes me happy. And if that is booking and slaying the industry, then don't you worry, I'll be doing that. If that's me shacking up, maybe getting a ring on my finger, getting myself a yard and, just having lazy weekends with my boyfriend, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll become an interior designer. Who knows? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just depends. And, the next job, maybe I'll need to take a job because of the money. So I'll do this or do that. Like, you just don't know what position you're going to be in. So I feel privileged right now to work so hard to be in a position where I can be a bit picky and choosy. But who knows? I've always said, if I need to be back in the kick line, darlings, and slay an ensemble role just because I need to, I will do it. I never see a step forward, a step back. As long as I'm doing what I love and I'm in this industry and it's making me happy, I don't really care what kind of a role it is. As long as I know that I'm doing myself proud and, sticking true to myself.
Endless possibilities. We've got a question just coming in from Samantha Jane. Before we quickly ask that question, thank you, Samantha. Everyone, we are a third of the way in. So if you want to get your questions in, look, I love being greedy. I love doing these Q&As, but this is free here for you. Any question is a good question within reason. Please no swearing. It's daytime. Yes.
Never be surprised for a question. So someone try and surprise me. That's a challenge. 1 second. I'm just opening my window. It's a bit hot.
Okay. Brilliant. Fantastic. I'll just have
back.
So you want surprising questions, is it, from everyone?
Yeah, like I actually had a Q&A last night with the Actor Centre. Like, I do a lot of these things. I don't know why, but everyone seems to want to ask me questions, which is gorgeous. And I always get to reminisce on my whole life. But very rarely do I get asked a question that I've never been asked before. So someone try and surprise me. That's a challenge.
Well, Samantha Jane will just be kick-starting it. It's just saying the preference of the theatre or TV and film.
This is a really good question. And I get asked this a lot, and this is no shade because it's a really good question. Because, of course, the two different kind of vibes are completely different. Like, I remember from young, I had to learn quite quickly that, it's not the same gig. When I was doing Billy Elliot, I had 6 weeks. They were really lovely. They let me basically go and film this show called Beautiful People. So by the time I was 13, I'd already done the West End, and I'd had a part on TV. So I was already kind of focused and ready and learning. But it was a learning curve for sure. When I got on set, I was a bit like, well, what do I do? Like, is anyone going to give me like a rule book of what to do and what not to do? Because as soon as you get on, it's quite intimidating. Like, cats everywhere. You've got a boom here. You've got your microphone up there in your costume, and you have to sometimes have to stand in a weird way when really, you're acting to literally like an X on the side of the camera. You're not even looking at somebody's face. Sometimes I'll be saying my lines like this, da 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 da, and the axe is really stood there. So like, all of that took quite a long time to get used to. And by the time I was used to it, we'd wrapped. So then by the second season came around, everyone was, when they say on your marks or rolling, I knew what was good. I've got the lingo down, honeys. You know what I mean? Like, by then I was like coming into my, I was like, okay, I know what's going on now. So it's really nice, obviously, as an adult now, if I step on the set, I know my way around the set. and it doesn't take a long time to get into that. But with theatre, I'm not sure if some of you here have performed on stage before, but we can all like remember that first time we've been on stage, that buzz, that electric feel, that energy. Am I nervous? Am I going to throw up? Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you know what I mean? It's that buzz. You cannot take that thrill away from you. You do get that a little bit when you're on set before like your first take. You're like, oh my God, like I'm nervous. Or like, say if you've got like your moment, say for Bad Education, for example, if I had like a dance scene or if I had something that I really had to go for it, I'd get a bit nervous, yeah. But then once you've done it a few times, cut, again, the novelty wears off a little bit. So that instant excitement isn't there. But then on TV and film, I remember when I used to travel from London Bridge I was doing Matthew Bourne rehearsals, and there's a massive poster of Bad Education every time I used to get on the tube on the Underground, and I was just like, oh my God. My face was like this big, literally like this big on the poster, but I was beside myself. And then obviously you can imagine, well, 5-6 years later, it was just my face as Jamie, and I was like, that's what I prefer. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have to zoom in on my camera anymore. When you're on the red carpet at Leicester Square and you're literally seeing a movie and you're sat back and you're like, I'm in a movie. Like, it's wild. Went to the Rocket Man premiere a few months back. Get your binoculars out because you can just about spot me. But I was dancing in that movie, and I was dancing in Jamie, actually. I mean, everybody's talking about Jamie in the opening number, which is fab. Just like little bits like that. I just love being on set because you know that is going to be around forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can show that to my grandkids one day and be like, try and spot Uncle Layton in this dance scene in Rocket Man, try and spot Layton in this episode of Benidorm. It's just cute, and it's there forever. But these live performances, you can't beat them. They're so different. So it's hard to, basically, a long-winded answer to your question, because we've got an hour, why not, is you can't compare the two art forms. They're so different. But what I love is, if you get a chance, have a little Google of Beautiful People on BBC, what I did. So singing, dancing and acting at the same time with a camera, that's my gig. Do you know what I mean? Get me in the studio, let me lay down a track, or I'll sing it live, whatever you want, and give me the cameras, and then let's go. Love that. Like, I filmed a music video the other day for an artist, and like I was back on set and I was like, yeah, this feels good, So that's my favorite. I think like all art forms together. I'd love to be in like a Rocket Man again or Jamie movie, but like obviously have like one of the lead parts and like really explore a musical movie. I think that'd be fab. So fingers crossed, guys. Thank you.
Questions are piling in. Next question we got from Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, and thank you, Samantha, for that question. Is how did you go about funding for drama school? It's the main thing that is holding me back and keeping me from applying.
Very good question, Lucy. And listen, without scholarships and Dadas and all of that, I literally wouldn't have been able to probably afford to go to drama school. When I was a kid, you don't get paid much money to be a child actor. When I think back at the money I was on, actually, it was like, are you being serious? I can only imagine what some of the adults were on in that show, and literally I was the main part. Anyway, it's all good. We got paid, but like it just wasn't. Do you know when the perspective, when you're kind of like, wow. Nowadays in Hollywood, they like, if you're playing the main part, you have to get paid the same. All of that equal pay malarkey. I think they should do that with kids too. But basically, I did not have £5,000 a term or however much it is to go to college now. I'm out of touch, but I was just really determined, and I emailed every school, and Italia Conti got back to me, and I went in and I sung and danced and I did my thing for them. I just said, listen, if you take me in, I'll promise to make you proud. And they were just so supportive, and they did. And I ended up being their head boy. So, my story and my journey into this industry is just way different to a lot of people's. And I understand that it's different for everyone, Lucy. And I would not be able to do it. Like, I was from a council estate in Manchester, No, we didn't even know what a grand looked like back in the day. Never mind ample per year. So, yeah, I'd say really just work hard, try and audition for them scholarships, and if not, see if you can do a part scholarship or like a part, foundation course and something like that, or a student loan. Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can always write into people and just say,
Exactly. There's lots of people out there that are willing to help. They do student loans at some places, and some people don't even pay the student loans off. So I listen, don't quote me on that. So depends if you earn the big bucks back in the day, Lucy. If you become a big time star, you'll have to start paying it back. But I've got my fingers crossed for you. Stay determined and know that even if you don't end up going to drama school, you can still get a good training without going to an actual drama school. You just got to really work hard at finding the right places. So I wish you all the best of luck.
We are halfway through and questions are coming in. If you want to ask a question for Layton Williams, just subscribe and put your comments in the box below, just down here. Glory Nicole. Oh, Glory Nicole. If you hadn't gone into performing, what job do you think you'd have done? Or is there a job you do now if you decide not to perform anymore?
Good question. So actually, I've just moved into a flat in London by myself for the first time. So I literally been living with, I call them like my guardians / like lesbian mums for like 11 years. But it was time to spread my wings. Like I'm 26 in 2 days. So like I don't need to be living with my parents basically anymore. So I moved out and I'm not showing you now because the washing's everywhere, but I'm sorry, I am an interior designer because this place is just, it's art. It's art. It's eclectic. Look at my cheeky lamp that I got yesterday. And I don't even have a plug for it. It's just there for fashion. There's no plug behind the couch. So I'm not going to lead through the whole living room. So it's just going to have to stay. Like everything is just choices and colorful. And look, I can show you my little cove. I built this. Wait, where is it? I built this like the other day. All the different plants, all the different moments.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of green as well. It's quite nice.
Greenery, life. So I think something within the art form still. So either fashion, I love dressing up and serving looks. Follow me on Instagram at Layton Williams, you'll see. So I love serving and putting things together and just making things beautiful. And sometimes people are like, well, it doesn't matter what you look like and da-da-da-da. And it doesn't, it's fine. If you want to, rock out with your trackers on, that's cute. I love a little hoodie every now and again, but like, if it makes you feel good and you feel fabulous and it puts a spring in your step, why not put your best foot forward and serve a look and feel fab? So it would either be in fashion or interior design, I think. That's my other passions in life.
But remaining playful with everything that you do, just going back to Jamie quickly, you had a long run there. So how were you able just to keep it just always engaging, not just for the audience, but actually just for yourself, so that you're like, okay, be in it.
Yeah, good question. I actually was busy, like obviously. So I could literally count on like two hands the amount of times I just got the train to work, went to warm up and did my job. Like I'm up, I'm out. Maybe I'm at a Barry's class. Maybe I'm doing a photo shoot. Maybe I'm doing this campaign. Maybe I'm meeting this person. Maybe I'm doing this business meeting. Maybe I'm running a workshop. Like I would literally be a girl about town. And I was also very aware that like my face is going to be dragged down from there soon. This is not going to last forever, Black don't crack, but I can't be playing a 16-year-old forever. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm about to turn 26, a decade older than Jamie. Like, what am I playing at? So I actually did a Q&A last night with the face mask still on. I forgot to take it off. I wondered why I looked so shiny. I was like, oh my God, I've still got my avocado face mask on, but we're just going to ride with it. Anyway, so I would just keep myself inspired during the day. So no matter what I was doing, I'd get to work. And my whole day wasn't about work. Remember, I'm Layton as a person before I'm an actor. So I'd be running other things, doing other moments, falling in love. I met my boyfriend. So doing things and running around the world, singing him whenever I could catch a holiday. So I had so many other things going on in my life. So then when I got to work, it was like, right, I've had a brilliant day, put that to bed. I'm happy, I'm healthy. And then I get to go out there and play this part that is literally so just good for me as an actor. Takes me on a journey. I'm passionate about it, you know. I can relate to it in lots of ways too, and just slay. I just loved my job. Like, there's no two ways about it. It sounds super corny, but if you love your job, it doesn't feel like you're going to work every day. So when I got there, sometimes there'd be a new cast member on, there'd be an understudy, somebody else would be on holiday. So it was always fresh. And that's when they said, do you want to go on tour with the show? Like, and I was like, yeah. A new venue every week, still doing the show that I love, which is reimagined by a new director. I was like, count me in, me and Shane Ritchie, let's go. So yeah.
Being able to really connect with that role when you're going to an audition where you perhaps haven't been able to find those nuances, and you're being like, okay, how am I meant to do this role? What do you put in place just to make, you know, put the Layton print on it?
So really good question. I always put a bit of me in it. I remember when I was doing Hairspray and I'd just come out of playing Angel in Brent. So I was effeminate, I was American, I was a drama, like I was a queen, I had a wig, lipstick, and then I had to go into playing literally male romantic. And at first I was finding it quite hard to do that, and I knew that people would be second guessing my efforts and my authenticity to be able to play that kind of role. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, does he want to kiss Link or does he want to kiss Penny? Like, what's the tea? So I was like, okay, let me not worry so much about, you know, matcha, but like put me, I'm like, at heart, I am actually a bit of a lad. Like, when you see me chilling and like, I used to be a chav. You guys won't even believe this, but I was running around my streets, buzzing around my council estate, on my bike, playing Knock-a-Door Run. Listen, I'm not promoting Knock-a-Door Run right now, but yeah. I was a bit of a scally. Can you believe that? Like, and I always remember back into the Layton that I was. I'm like, I've obviously come out of my shell now, and I've formed into the person that I love to be and I want to be and am authentically. But back in the day, I didn't have all these isms. You know, I was a bit more just like rough and ready. So whenever I need to, I kind of just like think back and like to where I grew up, the people that I was around, and you know, I can still put Layton into these characters. So it's a nice challenge and I love it. And that's the great thing about being an actor, you know, every role is different. Even the queer roles, sometimes I get sick and tired of people being like, do you get worried that you're, you know, going to be, you know, pigeonholed into that type of thing? And I'm like, let's clear the air then. Angel, Ren, Jamie, Bad Education, Stephen, Kylie. Just because all of these characters are gay, do you think every gay person's the same? Do you know what I mean? That's basically what someone is saying by saying that you're being, you know, you're playing the same.
Yeah.
It's like saying every straight character is basically the same. Like, no, not really, sis. You know, one's a 16-year-old boy struggling with one thing. One's a drag queen, you know, dying of AIDS. The other is, you know, another 16-year-old boy with different isms. It's just like a bit lazy to kind of think like that. So I try to do, you know, Jamie is nothing like any other character I've played before. The vulnerability in that character is nothing like I've ever played before. It's a challenge, you know, they've all been different. So I just love that. I love jumping into it.
Like breaking the chain, breaking the barriers. What type of content do you think we'll be seeing more of when things do perhaps go into a bit more motion?
Well, basically, I have to wrap this show up because I'm still, you know, getting tweets of my face plastered around the country now. So I'm going to get back on tour and wrap Jamie up as soon as I possibly can. And then who knows what lies in the future. But with the tour, it's been so nice to kind of reimagine the show with Matt, our new director. And, you know, I was rushed into the show originally. I only had 2 weeks to kind of get everything ready for the West End. So now I'm going to get back. I'm going to have even more time. I'm going to be more appreciative. And there's lots of things that have happened in my life since I was last playing Jamie. I'm older and wiser. And I don't know, I just found that when I went back I went on the story more. I went on the journey more. On the tour, I was way more connected, and I feel like I just was a better actor. So I don't know. Some people might have thought it was exactly the same, but I just think we grow, you know, the more we kind of pick things apart, and have really picked the script and the whole show apart this time. So yeah, expect a good old show. Expect to go on a roller coaster.
I have to quickly ask, thinking about the camera angles and doing the shoots and singing, acting and dancing on camera, do you have a favorite shot size and where you're like, oh, I'm game with this, or you know?
Do you know what? I've had to, it's funny they say that. I had a photo shoot this week. Well, I did like a Sky interview moment with I'm not sure I'm allowed to say, so I'm just going to say a very, very famous photographer. And I don't like to get too gassed about situations when I'm in the room, because if I research, sometimes my lack of research is actually goes in my favor, because if I get too pinned up on, oh my God, like they've done this, and I obviously know what I'm dealing with, but I don't like to worry myself and be like too shook to be able to do my job. This has happened to me before. I worked with Rachel Fuller and Pete Townsend. And basically it's from The Who, I'm not sure if you know. And I wasn't that much of a fan, I've got to be honest. It's a different generation thing. But when I called my nan and was like, oh yeah, I've done this album with you know, Elton John's on it, which is obviously iconic. But I worked with Elton on, I didn't work with him, but obviously Billy Elliot, he wrote the music. So I've met him a few times. So I was like, oh my God, Elton's on it. It was Pete Townsend, and my nan was like, who? Like the Who? And I was like, what? And she's like, Pete Townsend from The Who. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, with his wife. And she was like, literally just like beside herself. Like, do you know when you get nervous for them? I was like, oh, well, it's a good job I've already been in the studio, because I've already done it. And thankfully I wasn't nervous. It was the same on the shoot. Like, it's literally this incredible photographer, shot everyone, literally everyone. And he was like, oh, you're pretty good at this, aren't you? And I was like, well, yeah, you sound surprised. And like, we had a bit of a lull, and he was like, what do you channel when you're doing it? And I said, I put an actor's head on and I pretend to basically be a model. If I've got a photo shoot, I need to look fab. I need to feel confident in order to look confident. So, you know, I just pretend. And he was like, who do you channel? And I said, Naomi Campbell, obviously. And he was laughing. He was like, oh, we got some really good shots. And I was like, it's true. Like, if you're an actor, you can kind of put yourself into that, you know, into that moment and just pretend you are this otherly model moment, when really I ain't no model. Do you know what I mean? Every now and again, you know, I'll crack out a little shot for whoever wants to shoot me. But I just kind of like fake it till I make it. That's been my mojo for like the beginning of my career. When I turned up to my first audition for Billy Elliot, I couldn't do tap, ballet, anything. And the director, Stephen Dole, just said, if you can't do it, just pretend. And since then, I've literally faked it till I make it. Matthew Bourne, I ain't no ballet dancer. My feet don't point, my legs don't turn out. I am not that kind of girl, but lo and behold, 2 contracts with one of the biggest dance choreographers in the world. Fab. Like, don't ask me how it happened. It just did.
Yeah. I've got a question just coming in here, just saying, finding from going from performer to director, being able to give back.
Oh, that's good. So I guess I call myself the director of my company, because I kind of just in charge of everything that goes on and the visions for it. I don't necessarily direct like shows as such, but I do see that as a possibility of me having that in the future. I don't know. I love choreographing. I love telling people what to do in the nicest possible way, of course. It's always alongside my performing vibe. So, you know, I'm the director of a company called Pros on the Shows, which is a company which leads workshops. And we're here to basically inspire you guys, inspire the kids, inspire the talent of tomorrow. So I'm very aware that, like, if you can get someone from a young age into this industry and passionate about it, you know, magical things can happen. So we've been lucky. We've taught thousands and thousands of students all over the country. And I work with my close friends. I work with colleagues that inspire me. And we only kind of use the best of people, and it shows, and we get great feedback. And it's nice because during lockdown, I've also been able to help out, like you guys are doing with us, you know, at CCI. I've been able to employ numerous people, friends, even if it's 50 quid here and there, like, can you do this, can you do that? Like, it's a lot of money for a lot of people, that's a weekly shop down at Aldi. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's been nice to, I wouldn't say give back, but to keep the circle of inspiration flowing.
And keep that flowing. And as we approach the final moments of this Q&A, and thank you so much for coming here at CCI, is just a few words of wisdom or something just to say that will give those that are tuning in a little bit more confidence moving forward in this industry.
Well, obviously, we know that we're in a bit of a strange time at the moment, but like I said earlier, we will be past this. And all I can say to you guys is to keep staying true to yourself. I've never really gone, off brand. And I think that hopefully shows through my authenticity that I'm just being myself, being a nice person and, being willing to work with people and being open and honest and, working with Arlene Phillips last week and just being like, babe, I think this, I feel this, and I'm not saying it because I'm being this, but like, I care so much about this project as much as you. And, the honesty, I think people appreciate it. So, I've been asked back to lots of jobs just because like, I would say I'm easy to get along with. Some people might disagree, but who knows? So I would say stay true to yourself, be in person because you can't get booked again. Work hard on your craft. If you've got weaknesses, I made the mistake before of, pushing my weaknesses to the side, and only recently have I really ran with them. So if you can do that from early on and know that you've got certain things to work on it. Get your fingers in as many pies as you possibly can without stressing yourself out. Make yourself into the beautiful product that you are. And remember, we're all individual and we have something special to offer this world. So go out there, shine, know that if I can do it, you can do it. And I'll be thinking of you guys. I wish you all the luck. And who knows, might be working together soon. So I'll see you there.
And on that note, Layton, thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend and see you soon. All right.
Thank you so much. Nice to chat to you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
That was the amazing Layton Williams, everyone. Righty, okay, looking at the time, oh my goodness, we are in for a treat. It's Q&A after Q&A. Michael Xavier is up next at 1 o'clock. Stay tuned because Michael is coming your way.